Episode 747.
Huh? What, you guys aren't planning to fight us?
Wei Chen led his people safely out of the circle, only to find that neither Blue Brook Guild nor Samsara had any intention of making a move. He was genuinely taken aback.
Is that really necessary?
Spring Intense said, her tone flat.
In an MMO, you settle things with blood and steel. You take a hit that big and still won't come fight it out, still calculating every little thing. The way you people play this game is just pathetic.
This left Spring Intent Elder silent for a long moment. Then, to everyone's surprise, he actually admitted it.
You're right, but we were never playing a game.
Not bad, you catch on quick. No wonder you're the guild leader of Blue Brook Guild.
I'll remember you too.
Spring Intent Old didn't join the fight himself. His perspective was fixed on them the whole time.
Of course. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer not to get kicked out of the guild.
Why?
Because Blue Brook Guild's benefits are pretty good, and the reputation's decent enough.
Spring Intent was left utterly speechless. He had expected some brilliant justification, but instead got something so blunt. So, the instant he panned the camera away, he kicked every last one of those Blue Creek Guild members out of the guild.
Shh, pathetic. A guild this big, and they can't spare a few slots.
Wei Chen's grumbling faded into the distance as the group finally disappeared into the swamp.
Quick, let's see what good stuff you got.
They hadn't been out long before Wei Chen, practically drooling, couldn't wait any longer and pressed Ye Shu for an answer.
These.
Ye Shu sent a trade request, passing over the materials Wei Chen had ordered after the two guild leaders finally caved.
That's it? Where's the list I gave you?
Wei Chen actually had the nerve to be dissatisfied. This was already what two guild leaders had gritted their teeth and bled to scrape together for him.
Do you have any shame? You really think they'd agree to that list of yours?
Under these circumstances, it's worth a try.
Well, this is the result of trying.
Not bad, I guess. Still better than that mess you pulled before. You're way too weak.
I just don't want to be as completely shameless as you.
So that makes me completely shameless. If I weren't short on hands, I'd have set up an ambush on the road and blown their delivery guys sky high. That would have been a real spectacle. He can't pin this loss on me, can he?
Sigh. There's no stopping you now.
Even Ye Shu was starting to feel helpless.
All right, give me Death's Hand back. I'm going to go level it up.
You sure it won't drop?
Get lost, you jinx.
You're feeling guilty, aren't you?
With all our years of research, it should be fine.
You clearly haven't tried it.
But I have experience.
Antique level experience, huh?
Get lost, get lost. I'm not wasting time with you. Just give me the Death's Hand so I can upgrade my gear and go. The next batch of materials is going to keep us busy. Who knows if we'll even get a shot at the boss.
That might be a bit tough. The guild leaders know the ins and outs of online games just as well as we do. In the end, they just hadn't taken us seriously enough before. Figured that in Heavenly Domain, unlike the newbie zones, they'd have the upper hand.
I'm even more outmatched here, but after this, they'll probably see us as a real threat to their boss kills.
If they really start guarding against us, we'll be in a tight spot.
You know, a boss isn't like your average mob. Just killing it takes forever. Snagging one of those is way more trouble than offing their guild leader.
Killing the guild leader would be fine, but the key is he only drops equipment, never materials.
If only we could know which player ends up with the materials every time they finish off a boss. Don't steal the boss, we steal the players.
Yeah, it's still tough. Killing someone doesn't guarantee they'll drop what you need.
If it doesn't drop, keep killing until it does.
Then, I'll try next time.
But figuring out who picked up the materials, that's way too difficult.
We'd need a super high-level mole.
With that, the two of them turned their view back to take a look. Behind Wei Chen's windward formation, the guild tags above his brothers' heads had all but vanished. Not because they'd hidden them, they'd been kicked out. The rare exceptions were those mixed in with Samsara Guild and the Jia Guild. Those two guilds hadn't taken part in the hunt that followed, so the characters mixed in with them naturally stayed hidden.
Looks like we're all gonna end up on the guild blacklist. That's a bit of a problem.
Wei Chen frowned as he spoke.
No trouble at all. I'll just switch characters.
I took a look, and what a coincidence. You guys are one class each. Perfect.
I've got a set of level 70 characters on my account. They're basically empty shells, but I can hand them all over to you. Just transfer your gear over and you'll be set.
Damn it, do you even realize how high the skill points are on these accounts?
Is that so? How much?
Mostly around 4,700.
How could it be this high?
Yi Chu was shocked.
Through normal leveling and the standard encouragement process, a character's skill points would land at exactly 4,000. After that, any additional points could only come from skill books, hidden quests, or event rewards, in short, entirely random conditions. In all the years of glory, if there was some in-game character whose skill points rivaled a pro-level god-tier character, Yeshu wouldn't be too surprised. After all, it mostly came down to luck. But now, seeing Wei Chen and his crew all sporting a clean 4,700 skill points across the board, that was enough to send a chill down anyone's spine. All by sheer luck? 20-odd people all having the same stroke of luck at once? Obviously, that couldn't be a coincidence. There had to be some technique behind it.
Hey, this is your big bro's closely guarded secret.
Bullshit. More than 20 people already know it, and you call it a secret technique?
Yi Shu was exasperated. Skill points had always been a headache for him, a problem with no solution in sight. This thing relies entirely on luck. No one can guarantee how any account will turn out. There was only one way to solve this problem: spend money. But spending money doesn't actually buy skill points. It buys accounts, ones with high skill point totals. Some people say that if money can solve a problem, it isn't a real problem. The ones who say that are obviously rich. For those who poured money into building a team, this really wasn't that big of a problem. Sure, high skill point accounts were rare, but Glory had been around for years with a massive player base. They weren't rare enough to be extinct. But for Yi Shu, who had built everything from scratch, this was a serious problem. A high skill point account was worth as much as a silver weapon, let alone forming a whole team. You couldn't even afford one. Who would have thought that Wei Chen here had actually stumbled onto a method for stacking skill points? This didn't just solve the immediate crisis, it was a whole new source of income. Right now, Ye Shu had only one hope: that this shameless bastard wasn't just blowing smoke or peddling some worthless secret technique he'd bought off someone.